Dang, how you pass so fast. Royal her with some soul trends. Good girl. No more, she on my team when I hang. You hear the echoes when bass scream. Living that bay life. It's alright. You feeling depressed and go outside. The weed and the season make these hard times. With every time you spend on no life. For the take a staycation. To Santa Cruz. To a car I got drank. Bring the shoe. Bring the speaker for the slap. Set the mood.
Hey, good evening to everybody. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We have Watch Your Mouth Reviews, aka James. He is here. He has a channel. I encourage everybody to look at his channel. He covers recaps like I do, but sometimes he'll do pop culture. I like when he includes like little games and activities surrounding our shows. But that's what he does. So I encourage everyone to check it out. He also has books. Look him up on Amazon. Moving it along, we're here to go over our lovely, immature embarrassment of the millennial generation, Basketball Wives Orlando, season 1.
Or y'all can just call it what I call a Bad Girls Club Orlando.
Right, the redo.
The redo. What is it? What is it called? The reboot?
The reboot. Revamped legacy.
That's what it is.
Child, these women, honestly, they're not all that bad. I think that 2 women from the group are the problem. Like, in terms of...
Girl, all these women ignorant as hell. I don't know what the hell you talking about. Not that bad.
He said no. I feel like some of the other women, they're all messy.
Got no sense to me.
He said,
stop. No, these women.
I'm trying to give them an itch.
But I tell y'all, no, let me tell y'all. When I tell you it was so much foolery and fuckery bullshit on this damn episode, I'm just like, I can't. I cannot.
Child, listen,
Get
what I will say, they're refreshing, but I think that they are, it shows where my generation, because I am 31 and many of these women are in their early 30s as well. I don't know what's wrong with our generation. It's like we're so focused on being pretty and cute that we don't think about the things that give us substance.
We're so worried about keeping some man that don't need to be kept. There was a couple of them in this episode that I was just like,
Yeah, we're going to get into that because I think we can both agree. I think we're both Lindsay. That's going to be a topic for this
absolutely
live. Because
so get through it because I can't wait because I thought she was a fool in that first episode, and now I see she's even a bigger fool than I.
She's missing stem cells, brain cells. I mean, anywho. All right, let's just start so we can get through because I'm tired of talking about these other hoes. I was glad Lindsay gave us something. So we see Mehgan and Danielle meet up. And they talk about the whole exchange and this issue with Mackenzie that Danielle has, because I'm going to add, as y'all know, on my channel, I call it the BBMC. And that stands for the Bitter Baby Mama Club. I'm trying to tell you, because I'm going to induct Danielle into this club. I have to, and Morgan as well. So welcome, because what the fudge? Move on. So anywho, Mehgan and Danielle talk, and she has a new nickname for Mackenzie, Wanna-Me or whatever. I thought she was saying wannabe, but I turned on my subtitles and it was one-a-me. You're doing all of this to be petty, and it's not even a good nickname. And you're proving my best friend right when he says that none of you have intelligence.
Just ignorant. That's what this is. Ignorant. Why would you give her that? Like, why?
You understand you're supposed to be raising your kids to like become mature adults. Why are you coming up with nicknames, Danielle? Come on now. So as they talk, and this is the part after this talk with Mehgan and Danielle, I was annoyed a little bit with Danielle's behavior, even more so than I was before, because when you listen to what she's saying, we finally get like some dates and some like, you know, receipts type energy. And the stuff that she's saying, it looks like Mackenzie did do something wrong, but nobody's going to be able to hear her if you're behaving like you part of the BBMC, the Bitter Baby Mama Club. It just don't make sense the way that she addresses this issue.
Well, it makes sense in her mind as to her saying, well, they were messing around while they were still together. And it's like, I don't know. Well, I got to keep telling y'all women this. If you do not have legal binding paperwork on this man, you ain't even got to marry him. Have a clause and have a contract with him. If he cheat on you, I get $1 million. Let's see how much.
If I were to ever end up single again, like on some serious shit to date, I don't care how anybody feel about me. The people who want to date me, it's up to me. I need NDAs and contractual agreements having to do with the boundaries of the relationship being met.
Absolutely, because you can be like my homegirl who got recorded and he put the shit on Pornhub because he needed to make some money.
That really happens. I know a couple of people that I guess that's called revenge porn. That's why they made it.
This wasn't even no revenge porn. This was like they were short like $200 or $300 on their bills every month, and so he had her whole ass on Pornhub, and I was sitting there looking like.
Did she know?
So it was a crazy way how she found out. So she has a very distinctive tattoo. It's like a tramp stamp. And it was funny because someone sent me the link. It was a mutual friend of ours sent me the link, and she goes, "I know this ain't who I think it is." So I hit up and I said, "Pornhub, why am I like that porn?" And when I looked, I said, "That tattoo do look familiar though." And I said, "Wait a minute, no, it is not. No." I said, "Wait." I said, "Damn, dude, you couldn't just jack off and show the world. You had to put had her whole entire ass on Pornhub like it is, and just going."
Yeah, in California, you can sue for that.
They're not in California.
Oh shit!
They're in Arizona.
Oh
yeah.
So man, I'm like in California. Like I know people are like, oh, it's liberal. California's a mess. It is because they want to serve the rich, ignore the middle class. They focus on focus on money, but they also these laws for like civil rights. They're good out here. Like you have some.
There's no blur line, but like you say, NDAs and contracts. Because I tell you, men aren't ruthless these days. You gotta really.
If you have something you don't want to lose and you dating, I think that's the smartest thing to do, especially with social media. Because listen, it don't make no sense. So moving back on the topic because we could go on and on. I can't believe what he just told me. That was tea. And I'm sorry that happened to your friend because it's not like anybody's judging her. Porn is porn, but if you don't consent to it, that's fucked up. Like that's fucked up. I would have been in the county jail.
When I tell you, I'd have been in somebody else's jail cell. Hell, and I'd be sharing with somebody because I promise you ain't finna do that to me and then think I ain't finna. And then the thing about it is, it was funny real quick. She was wondering where she had thought he took on a second job. That makes it even worse. I was like, see, this is how you know. And see, y'all women will believe that shit. And that's what's so crazy about y'all women. Y'all believe the most simplest lies. Like the simple lies that these men be telling y'all. And it'd be like, y'all really believe that? Robin Dixon, wherever you are in the world? Just believe any old kind of bullshit just because it sounds like something he would do? Yeah, okay.
Child,
I'm gonna have all these women on Pornhub searching.
I hope I'm not there. Hey, so to everybody who judge tramp stamps, it might be a way to spot yourself out. Look, listen, I got one. I'll know for sure. I got Mr. Best. You better not ever try me, and he can hear me too. But I don't keep cameras in my bedroom. I don't know why people do that to this day. We don't. When we do it, we just get to doing it. We don't have time to.
I don't know how he did it either. I've still tried to ask around without asking her directly how he did it because I want to know. Like, was the computer facing y'all? You didn't see it was on. Like I'm trying to figure it out too.
Was it a MacBook, an HP Envy? What was
from the angle, it was really close to the bed. Wherever it was, like whatever he had, it was very close to the bed, so you could almost like.
But they have cameras for everything. I'll be noticing that when my husband goes to different video directors. I'm like, I've had a guy film us with literally a camera like the size of my pinky. And so listen.
So I gotta do these video recaps on mine. I gotta give me like a little like camera that watches me.
Oh Lord. I bought a camera. It was Josiah found it for really cheap. I'm gonna send you a link. So
Okay.
Mackenzie gives her the nickname One of Me. Very, very childish. But they do discuss Mackenzie, and I am looking at my notes because I don't want to mess this up. So Danielle says, though, before I get to that Mackenzie needs to keep it cute when she is around her and talking to her because she wants to have a conversation to try and make peace. And I'm like, Danielle, Mackenzie has kept it cute around you. It's been you that has been the one to freak out at events, go off, start shit. This is why people are calling you guys mean girls. They're not just saying it to say it. They're saying it based on your behaviors. And
Right.
the more you behave like a mean girl, just bothering this girl for no apparent flipping reason, then, you know, that's what it's going to be. So basically, we then hear from Danielle. She says that Mackenzie has stalked and harassed her since moving to Orlando, which is fairly recent because it looks like most of these women moved there for the show, from what I'm getting. They won't say that, but that's what I'm getting from this. And Mehgan does decide to ask Danielle, like, if she and Rashad, who is her ex, who she was with for 10 years, her 2 kids are by, she asked the question we all wondering, are y'all still bumping uglies? Because obviously something's still there because she's just not moving on. Y'all are in different homes, you're co-parenting, like you're entirely separate. I understand the breakup was within a year, so it's not the longest, but to have this energy, most women want to be done with the dude after they feel like, oh, you're cheating has ruined the relationship. Most women want nothing to do with dude. Like they'll happily do the co-parenting, but Danielle is still attached. Then we find out she do sleep with him when she wants. We also find out that Rashad was, when he comes to see Mackenzie, he's coming to see her too. So 2 things I've learned. This guy has an extreme, I mean, incredible libido because he is hitting it on the same days in the same city with different women. I'll tell you this. And the other thing that I'm starting to see is Danielle can't let go and it's so emotional because she's probably thinking them sleeping together here and there is going to lead to, you know, them getting back together, which when you've been with someone for that long, to women dating, and this is where I think Mackenzie's at fault, you have to expect that he gonna go back and forth and look at yourself as like, if I'm the first person they're dating, I'm the rebound, whether he can admit that or not. And usually rebounds don't last. So I don't know about all of that. What you think about their little meeting with Mackenzie and Danielle?
I feel like this about Danielle. I feel like because, as I said, she constantly wants to blame Mackenzie about the breakup between her and Rashad. But here's my thing: you out your own mouth said that he is a manipulator and all this kind of stuff. So if you know he's all this, then why are you so mad at her?
Mm.
And why can't you let this man go?
Oh, thank you. That was in my note to bring up at a later point in the show, but it's never too early. He just gave y'all a whole message. I need that sound effect thing so I can like have claps or something for you because that deserves something.
Because it annoys me that she really, and that's why I said, women, y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all really need to stop doing this because these men are not worth it. Like they're not.
Mm,
You don't realize you in your own way when you are really trying to steady and cling on to this man with your last bit of grip.
I think that could
Knowing,
be said what you've stated too for Mackenzie too. They're just
but see, here's the thing about Mackenzie. This is what the thing about Mackenzie. I think that honestly, she's just trying to cling on to a baller. So I think she's trying to.
oh, that's
I
clear
think
as
I
day.
think that's what it is. So I feel like she's gonna take any treatment because there's no way I'm gonna live 3 houses down from the father of my children, one of my children. I'm not gonna live 2 apartment, do townhouses down from me. I'm not gonna do that. Sorry, we're not gonna do that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna do that. And then literally walking by, I'm not gonna do that. So no, I'm sorry. She loves the lifestyle and she's gonna continue to date in this ram. She like Evelyn, gonna continue to date in
Mm-hmm.
the ram until she lands somebody that's worth actually keeping.
Yeah.
But what she don't realize is that, and I don't think a lot of women who marry basketball players realize this, get them when they retire
Yeah.
and they sit their asses at home.
Right.
Like, why you gotta get them when they at the prime of their career when all that ass in their face and you know they gonna do all that? Like, I just don't understand that. I just don't understand why y'all women just don't wait till they retire. They're at a good age.
These are shallow women. They're more focused. They are, because that's a good point. I've actually never really thought of that with that round, but it also plays on. They lack inductive and deductive reasoning. That's what I'll say on these women.
I agree.
But James is right, because that's literally what my note says. Mehgan asked Danielle if the ex and her are still fucking, and Danielle said they are. And my note after that says, so basically he not faithful to nobody. They both stupid. So moving it along, because James gave us a message and wrap that up. We see Mulan with her sisters. I'm not going to say too much here, because on my channel, the only way I'm going to really talk about or entertain anybody who's underage is if you are submitting music to me on a song review for feedback. Other than that, I don't like talking about little girls too much, but we know that Mulan is one of 9 on her mom's side, 6 or something on her dad's side. She's got hella siblings. We find out she grew up in a smaller area in Florida. They don't have the most, it sounds like they grew up in a rough neighborhood. And they've been through some things. Her younger brother has passed away. Her sisters have been rebelling. And we see her with her sisters. They're in Florida spending some time with her. And I like how she makes the goal to like be their sibling, not their parent, but still try to give them like advice. And I'm the oldest of 4, so I can definitely understand that. And my youngest sibling is 10 years younger than me. So it's like, just be cool with them, but also offer a little bit of wisdom. So I felt like that was good. What she did. What I will say is they do seem hella bad. That's all I'll say. James. Why he come on camera and was like, that's right. You better
Because my thing is this, like when I tell you I was with them little girls, I say, oh damn, where my wallet at? I was up there, okay, I can see it. Yep. That's what they give me. I'm sorry. And it's such a shame because they're cute little girls, but it's just like I can't. And that just goes to show you, like, in terms of you can't really help the avenue of which you grew up in. Mm-hmm. But the problem is that there should always be, and I think that's one of the things about living in disassembled communities is that there's not enough influence for us who, are in those communities, not enough men to go around. I think that's why these women end up in these situations, because you're taught that men are very precious. They're going to do the little things, but it's better to have them than to not have them at all. And we need to get out of, that mindset. Disassembled communities need to get out of that mindset that, you're okay just being by yourself. You do not need anybody in this life. And when you have somebody, you cannot take it as, oh my God, I'm going to be with them forever, because you don't know. Life is very short, but it's also very long as well. And sometimes people do grow apart. So we also have to take that into consideration. So as much as I'm getting on, Danielle and Mackenzie and in a minute finna be Lindsay, I'm also saying this as like a, motivation for them to not stay in situations just because at one point in your life that was a galore point, and now today it's a mood one. So it's like you can't really live and expect your life like that because nobody is guaranteed to you. Nobody.
So what we're going to talk about now is Lindsay. Some of it. We get to see her in the beginning of the show. And I believe we saw her after Mulan, but Mulan and the sisters, I just wanted to get that out the way because I liked what I saw. It was positive and I don't have really anything negative to say about it. And shout out to you, Mulan. As an older sibling, I respect what you're doing. I get what you're doing. And I wish the best for her family and all of the youth, honestly. But Lindsay, now, she got a youth growing in her that's going to have some daddy issues. And let me tell you why. Lindsay is pregnant. She is our pregnant basketball wife who is an actual wife of someone playing basketball. So she is on the phone, FaceTiming her husband, and she's showing him baby pics. He is entirely uninterested. I peeped that from the beginning. That man's energy was off. It was to the left. And she says that she's waiting on, waiting to meet their child. She's waiting, to, know what the baby's going to look like. She just, things that pregnant mothers usually have. And this man looked at her through the phone. I was like, yeah, I ain't in no rush. What? So then she tries to save it. Tell it, my husband, you got to really know him to love him.
Okay.
So if you have to know him to love him, why did you stick around with somebody who's difficult to love and probably wasn't the nicest to get to a place of love? It makes me wonder, like, about the foundation of their relationship, because I'm
No, you
heavily
can
concerned.
clearly see the foundation of the relationship. There is no foundation. There's nothing stable about that relationship.
They don't have nothing to
He
talk about.
They have nothing to talk about. He looked irritated,
He do.
and it was like, so Lindsay, you could have kept this scene, baby. No, you really could have. You could have said, "Wait till I get off work, because you're not gonna embarrass me on these cameras and stuff like that. So you wait till I get my ass off work."
It sounds like she came from a bigger family when she was talking about the tribe of people that's there to be for her kid, be there for her child, which is wonderful. But it just seems, I feel like she gives me Shay and Fabo from Love and Hip Hop with this situation, except this guy maybe wasn't married and don't have all the other kids, and she was able to get a ring, but he just did not seem that interested in her. Even people who we've seen on reality TV who've been pregnant and estranged from their spouses will have more emotion than this man had for his wife.
I mean,
because at the end of the day,
the
she's carrying your seed, and he just does not seem to give a flying fuck about that. So that's all that we really saw. He does mention something that I also felt what really like sealed the deal for me, even though I already like 3 seconds in was like, oh no, then we got to see some shit, was she's talking to him and basically like trying to beg and plead. Like, I could tell that if the cameras weren't there, she would be trying to make this a bigger deal. But if you have to try to convince and plead with your child's father to be there for the birth, we done watched people. There was a Super Bowl years ago or football game around the holidays years ago. One of them people left the field. They left the game early because his wife was giving birth. The middle of a fucking game. And y'all know how dedicated football fans are. So for this man to make it, he hasn't even talked to his manager to let his manager know that the birth of his child is a priority. We gonna come back to this man and Lindsay. I think that's all we could say right now without going the fuck off, honestly.
I'm over here fuming. I'm like, girl, hurry up.
Because the way he acts was awful. So after all of that, we see Ashley go to meet with Nique. And I like how Nique, at first she seemed like she was sticking with one side. Then she seemed messy like she was sticking with another side. Now I see that she's just kind of talking to everybody. But
she was there.
Her approach is off. And this is, I'm going to keep reminding people, this is Nique for Black Ink Crew Chicago. But I actually warmed up a little bit to her in this episode. And we find out Ashley's trying to do something for charity, which is actually a really kind thing to do with, wigs and cancer, because that's something they struggle with. Shout out to anybody fighting cancer who's lost someone with cancer. I hate that it exists, but I like that people, when it comes to cancer, it always brings out the positive, it seems, in people to help each other, which we rarely get to see in this world. So, we find out they have both lost someone from cancer. Ashley's lost her mother from it, and Nique lost her sister from it recently, like fairly recently. She said she lost her sister in April of this year, and this was filmed like around that time. So she was filming and stuff while going through it, and now it makes sense why she keeps talking about her emotional eating. I was like, well, what are you emotionally eating for? Are you crying over 4 and a little penis or what? But it turns out that she's actually crying because of James is like, come on, Amina. But she's crying for legitimate reasons. That sucks.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean, but it was like, you talking about 4 in this penis, girl. I can't with you.
I have no sense. Duh. Anywho, so we hear that Nique's been emotionally eating. Ashley's doing a wig charity. They don't really talk about drama. I normally wouldn't report on a scene like that, but when it's for a cause that's good, or that I know that many people know someone who struggled from, I think we should always uplift it. Anything they do that's positive and not catty, feel it gets ignored. We should pay attention to the good whenever we get a chance to, because it's rare with shows like this. So we did see Megan saying that she feels pressure to talk to her mother because of her boyfriend, who's extremely family oriented. And we learn a little bit about Megan's background. And basically, what we learned is some of what we already knew. Her grandparents raised her, but her mother was not a bum or anything. She was a young teen mom, and her parents felt it was better. They asked actually to take care of Megan, to continue taking care of her and to take care of her. So, you know, I get it. And the mom, I get both sides. I'll say that. So we will come back to that because she just discusses it. They show her walking through the streets. Why is Orlando so empty? Everywhere that they're walking, I'm like, these empty ass streets, like, where are the people? Maybe it's too hot in Florida to be outside. That's what everyone.
That part. That part.
James is like,
because I live in Florida. That part.
I keep getting job offers like around the Orlando metro area.
I believe you. Yeah,
I got some for Kissimmee, and they offering like to pay for my move and to give me good. But I'm like, I don't know. You gotta pay for me to afford AC. Moving it along, we see Mackenzie and Danielle. They finally meet. For those who are unsure or new to the show, they're trying to catch up through the recaps. Mackenzie and Danielle do not like each other. Mackenzie is a little bit of a roundaway girl. She's moving her way through whichever ball player will take her. And Danielle is not that way, but she's part of BBMC, Bitter Baby Mom Club. And, you know, now we know that she's still in that club because she's still sleeping with her baby daddy. So, and Danielle just broke up with her fiance and father of her kids, and Mackenzie got to dating him. Man, I mean,
the way the movie talked about this, it was like
the ink would not be dry.
I mean,
shit. So this conversation was insightful just because we do get a lot. My hair tangled. We get a lot of insight into this relationship because they've had us watching these women. This is episode 5. So we've been watching these women for 5 weeks, 5 different episodes, legitimately argue about shit that they've given us really no background to. We've just gotten the anger.
Right, exactly.
Oh, y'all. So we do find out when they talk, because Danielle says, I took my ring off in March, but Mackenzie was with her ex in February. For those unsure, March comes after February. So that means that Mackenzie was doing some shit that she shouldn't have been doing. So Mackenzie says, we're talking to Danielle, that she is not a side chick. She is tired of being a side chick. And she feels that Danielle could not accept the fact that Rashad lied to both of them. This is what Mackenzie says. Well, if you know that he lied to both of you, then you should understand this woman's anger. But as we've discovered, they don't have that much intelligence. So let me explain something to you. You can be a side chick whether you know it or not. Yeah, I know that nobody wants to take that title on, even the ones who rightfully deserve that title. But you could be a side chick and not even know it. Like she has said, as well as Danielle, hell, probably Rashad does said it. He's lying to both of you. So Rashad is lying to both of you and fucking on both of you. So their solution is to blame each other for it.
Yeah.
It's pretty stupid. And I think Danielle realized that. I've been coming down hard on her, but I think she did realize that and is trying to talk to her. But Mackenzie came in there, I think, just ready to assert her dominance over this man on camera as some grand gesture to probably get him to take her more seriously. I didn't feel like Mackenzie was polite at all. Do you?
Does she have reason to be?
She doesn't have a reason to be, but when there's kids involved,
no,
it's
I'm
like,
sorry. No,
y'all gotta stop.
No. Here's the thing. I feel like they can maneuver through a relationship with those kids, and he can be who he wants to be. She is mad and angry about how that relationship ended because she said out her own fucking mouth, the man is a manipulator. The man does what he wants to do. He is all of these things. Yeah, you don't take that into consideration when he decides to go and be with someone else when you have no legal binding paperwork with them. And then
Mm.
you're angry at the woman, but not angry at him for ruining y'all lives together.
I think that Danielle is probably angry at him and going off on Mackenzie
Oh,
more.
absolutely, she is because she realized she can't do that with him
I don't think he'll
because
talk
that
to
takes
him.
away the resources. You have to
Yeah.
understand that takes away the resources because the problem is he wants to still have access because we live in a time where men only want to deal with their children if they still have access to the mom. That's just how that is. And I don't know where the fuck that came from, and I don't know why the fuck y'all men do that shit. But that's just what it is. So yes, she has to fight over him because he's going to see this on TV and he go, "Ooh, she still got it. I still can go over there and still pull them drawers down. I can still do all that." That's what his mindset is. So
Mm.
that's what a lot of men think. And I think it's
I think
pathetic.
that's true. I also think that the fact that both of these women are mothers, there should be, I think on both of their part, they should both share some responsibility to stop with the bullshit. Because at the end of the day, yes, she may be a side piece, this and that, but the only person at fault, like you've stated and I've stated, is Rashad. What I don't like is the pattern I'm beginning to see with Mackenzie, from rumors to what people have to say to fucking the way, just everything that this girl does. There's just patterns with her, and I'm really getting kind of tired of it because it's basically the same thing we saw with Nique. This show started with Mackenzie giving Nique problems because Nique is with Mackenzie's ex. Now it seems like, in my mind, Mackenzie's not going to freak out on Dwayne and Nique no more because she's got this new boo that she's interested in, and it got serious enough to where she could stop tripping on him because she thinks she got a future with somebody new. And then when this gets bad, I have a feeling she'll start giving Nique a problem again. So they both seem crazy as hell. But what I don't play with, and I don't even have kids, and I didn't like this shit. It had me ready to jump through the screen. When she looked at her and she was like, "Okay, well, have you been around my children?" To know, which is fair, which is a fair question because she has small kids, not 10-year-olds who can, who she can text and be like, "Send me a picture of your daddy moon." No, she she has little kids. So when you have small children, I don't give a fuck if you think that because you're a parent that the person you date is safe, or because that's your child's father, and that automatically makes the girlfriend safe. I don't give a flying fuck about what's happened or how Danielle's been. She has every right to know if this woman has been around the children that came out of her body. So I will stand with Danielle there. And this bitch Mackenzie looked at her, and this is where any like grace I was going to give her disappeared. And she just smiled and never answered the question. Like, if someone asks, "Have you been around your kids?" Most women would have been like, "I'm a mom too. Like, I have been around them, but I promise you nothing bad has happened. I assume that you knew, because it was okay with him." Like, they would say something, whether they're admitting it or not admitting it, but she just smiled. So that let me know, oh, she's a messy bot. She moved differently. Mackenzie, I couldn't believe it. So then we get more, and I'm sorry I am talking a lot because a lot happened in this one little scene. It was pretty much the show.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much the show, and I'm trying to figure out how to break it down, but it's just hard.
No, you're
So,
doing good. Keep going.
it's not okay to smile. She doesn't answer the question about the children. It's just not okay. So then we see Danielle ask Mackenzie why she was looking on social media, because Mackenzie has been accused of harassing Danielle. And I'm assuming this is TikTok because I don't know what other social media you can see who's looking at your profile, but I am new to TikTok, but I know I see those little footprints in the right corner and it tells you who has looked on your profile and when they look on it. So I only use TikTok for business, so I don't get caught in drama like this, but these women must be using social media for other ways because I guess Mackenzie was looking at Danielle's profile right before she went to Tulum with Rashad, which from what I'm hearing was in the same timeline of them being together. It sounds like they broke up while he was dealing with Mackenzie from what I'm getting. So here's the thing I'll say, and I'll get James' opinion on the whole thing. And what I have to say is really just a sentence. Like, Mackenzie, you're wrong. Your behavior's whack. As a mom, you should know better. However, comma, Danielle, you're not with this man anymore. So you don't need to hash out anything that happened in the past. The only thing you should have talked about with this woman was, I have kids. If you're dating the father of my kids, then we need to get along and be able to communicate. And we haven't been able to do that. You're not with him no more. So there's no point in talking about the things that happened in your relationship that you're not in anymore. Also, you were not a wife. You were not a wife. Now, I'm not saying a wife is better than a mom or a mom is better than a wife. They're two different things. And I think that women who choose to have kids outside of marriage sometimes deal with those blurred lines of seeing that they are two different things. You can't expect to have the treatment and respect of someone who is a wife or an ex-wife when you've never had the ring. And some of the things that Danielle are asking are alluding to that. You weren't his wife, you just had his children. And if you truly love him and hope that he changes behavior and want him back, because I think she wants him back, you're not going to do that with this behavior. If anything, you're pushing him further and further away. You're showing him now he can fuck people, cheat, and still get it from you, Danielle. So maybe cut that man off, go get a therapist and find you somebody, because she's a beautiful girl. She has her talents. She plays basketball herself. She don't need him. So it's kind of sad to watch this girl on TV crying over a guy who all you can say is a cheat and a manipulator. But you chose to have a baby with him, but you call him Mackenzie stupid. So I just can't. I think I covered it. I'll let you speak now. I just cannot.
No, I don't have much to say about it. I just felt like, y'all have to be careful when it comes to taking everybody's exes as if this is, checkers or something where you don't skip kings and you try to get to home base and all this stuff. Y'all need to cut that shit out. Because the fact that there's love triangles all over the place on this cast, it is crazy to me. It is
y'all
absolutely
like
insane to me. Like, for real. Like, the fact that there is so many of these women that have dealt with the exes of so many of these other women, it is crazy to me. Crazy to me. And y'all gonna fuck around and actually make me like Ashley on this fucking show, and I can't stand her.
That's what's happening. That I'm so glad you brought that up, because we can talk about that whenever. Ashley did not care for her. Something was off. I think she just doesn't. I don't think she's good.
No, she's a shady ass woman. She is. No,
I think she's shady, but she's
also.
But
the problem is that these women are too far off. So it's like, I feel like I would be justified in liking Ashley, because at the end of the day, she ain't no better than the rest of them. The only reason why I like her is because she ain't here.
Honestly, yeah, we haven't gotten much of her. It's like
we ain't got much of her, so yeah.
She had her issue with Morgan, and then like kind of seemed like maybe she's avoiding the cameras after the issue. I don't know. So the meeting with Danielle and Mackenzie, there was a hot mess. They both are crazy. Mulan has her sisters come meet, and they discuss life in the apartment. They discuss the siblings. Again, I'm not going to comment too much on this because not much happened there, and I respect families, children, things like that. What I will say is they're very young. They do seem like they're hella bad right now. But if she continues to be supportive to her sisters without spoiling them, and one of them's only 13, I believe that they have hope to change and mature. See, kids, when they act immature, you hope they learn from it and move on. She's not 30 like the rest of these hoes. So, we'll give the kids a pass. So next thing we see after Mulan and her sisters meet is Lindsay and her man. He does seem a little bit nicer when he's in person with her in that store, but I think that's just because he wasn't through a screen. I don't think it's actually a correct representation of him. But I do understand why she says he might seem off-putting on the phone. But honey, you shouldn't be having a baby with somebody who's off-putting towards you. That's all I'm saying.
I was going to say that exact line.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, and you a fool for even putting up with that in the first place.
She is. Instead of talking about their problems and stuff, she asked him about a push gift. And I'm like, oh.
I'm like, girl, if you don't get your ass off the screen.
So he made one statement I agreed with. The gift is supposed to be the baby. And that's the only way this man showed any form of excitement for his child coming into the world and breathing life was to avoid having to buy the child's mom a push gift. You could have got her a card to Neiman's. You could have got her like a little, cheap pair of shoes. You could have got her a purse. Like, listen, at the end of the day, there's nothing that anybody can purchase someone as a push gift that's going to be a greater gift than the child. All right.
Right.
If you right in the head. So, just buy her something, shut her up, move it along. But the fact that he don't even want to buy her a push gift, I'm like, And he just left her there pregnant. She's only 5 months pregnant. And for those who don't know, you can travel at 5 months pregnant. We watched Beyonce do it on her internet, as James says. We've watched, who the hell else has been pregnant traveling? Kim Kardashian, when she was pregnant with the first one, she was all over Paris, here. Rihanna giving us a whole fucking dance number and performance at the day of Super Bowl, pregnant as hell. So
and she was on platforms. Keep in mind, the most dangerous shit you can be on. So
right, explosions and shit coming out of the. So being pregnant does not disable you. So I do wonder why she's not with her dude. It's kind of like when the chick who just went down for fraud, British Williams, when she was on her first seasons of Basketball Wives, LA, she would miss a lot of scenes traveling with her man. So did Jackie in the very, very beginning. So, I don't understand why he's leaving his pregnant wife at home. Maybe she's having a medical issue, but it don't look like it. So I'm just going to move on from that man unless you want to offer more commentary, because I think we went in on him.
No, I'm good. He good.
He's too much. So we see Mehgan meet with her mom, and this meeting was, for me personally, watching it, I was like, oh man, I don't talk to my mother. I'm estranged, but mostly for peace, we can actually be in a room and have a good time. And I will give my mom that. She will acknowledge and apologize for some of what she did. But, I should do some of it. And she'll give a hug. Mehgan's mom came in the room and gave her no hug. Hey, and sat down. I was like, oh, damn. Y'all can't hug? Like, if I go to eat with you at a restaurant, or when I get off the plane to see you, I'm going to give you a hug. Like, that's just very strange.
It's like, you better. Like, there's
to
no
not
way
hug someone you care for.
Exactly.
That's a little weird.
To me, looking at her face when she looked at Mehgan, I can tell whoever Mehgan's dad was, caused a lot of pain.
Yeah, I think Mehgan looks like her daddy.
Yeah.
Obviously. She looks nothing like her mama at all. So I think you probably hit that there. They don't hug. Her mom did look at her some type of way. James said that.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
It's like she's.
I almost wanted to take a screenshot and send it to you, because I was like, wait, hold up. Not you looking at her like that.
I'm just like, oh, Lord. So Mehgan explains her wishes and her pain. She says she just wishes that her mom was there a little bit more, and explains that her mom wasn't there in the way that she could. She also explains that for her it's a little bit of a catch-22, just because her mom didn't technically abandon her, but she did identify, and that's why I think she would benefit from therapy, because she was able to self-identify that the pain for her really started when she had the opportunity to go be with her mom, and her mom had another child, and her mom did not, come back for her. So yeah. I understand that. That's hard. I think that with parents and kids, we have to remember that there's the perspective of the parent and the perspective of the kid. But overall, in my opinion, I think that the child's perspective oftentimes matters more, because they have to deal with what the parent did or did not do. So,
right.
I don't want to discount Mehgan's feelings, but her mom does explain. I'm reading notes because I don't want to fuck this up, because it's a sensitive topic for them. But her mom does say that she does love her. And I was actually glad to see the mom calm down and say that. And she did try to take some form of accountability. But it sounds like her mom is upset with Mehgan making their family issues public. And for those who are like, we ain't heard much about this, Mehgan may not talk about her mother and stuff now, and this show may be new. But Mehgan James has been relevant for many years. She spoke about her mother when she was on Basketball Wives LA. She spoke about her mothers when she was on the Bad Girls Club. She's spoken about it on her podcast as well. So this is just a thing with Black people. I think people of color in general, our families do not like our business being put out there for everybody to see. It is a fact. We can fight and shit amongst ourselves, but people gonna have an issue if it comes out. So, you know, her mom takes some accountability, but to me, the most meaningful thing the lady said was that she does wish that she was there more. And she says that if she had the opportunity to do it again, she would not have not have Mehgan. She would have raised her in her household. So this is why I think Mehgan needs therapy, because, you know, your parents aren't perfect. And I think we have to remember that. Her mom tried. She's an old dog. It's hard to teach old dogs new tricks. And the fact that she gave her some type of love or something, it may not have been the fully correct or ideal thing to do, but so many people don't even get that much out of their parents. So
Right.
I think she has to go to therapy to figure out coping skills of how to accept what she has, accept that, kind of like the serenity prayer, accept the things that I cannot change, the things that I have the will to do. You know, she has to accept some things to move forward. She does. Now, her mama lost me, y'all, at the end, because her mom was doing good. And then she said, I feel sorry for you, Mehgan, because if you can't get past this, you're going to end up in a dark place. I think her mom gave her the right message, but wrong. She was the wrong person to deliver that message.
I don't even think that was the right message.
I think that what she's saying to Mehgan does make sense. If you're this focused and impacted and are only making things right with your family because someone else is asking you to, then, you know, it's not legitimate. You're going to end up in a dark place if you feel pain and don't have family or feel separated. But I don't think her mom should have said that at all. That's what parents got to understand. When you make a mistake with your kids and it causes them pain or lifelong trauma, take accountability. If you're able to, apologize and leave it there.
The reason why I don't agree with what she said, and the reason why I don't believe it's, meeting up because of somebody else, you really don't know how someone can heal you by having them attack some of the demons that may show up in the home, which is why I didn't necessarily I felt 50-50 on the boyfriend for making her do this. I felt like, one, that's none of your business. Why are you letting her relive the trauma? But also, one of the things I said in the previous video is that he may be doing this because there's something that maybe she's doing that would probably be answered in the confrontation with her mother.
Mhm.
So that's why I said I didn't agree with what she said, because at the end of the day, he may be blessing Mehgan and we don't know it yet. Like, this may be the will that she needed to hear in order for her to move forward and, become the things that she wants. Like she said, she wanted to have a kid.
Mhm.
Well, considering how you were raised, do you think with having the animosity towards your mother, do you think you'd be able to understand wanting your own child, what that really entails?
Mhm.
So I think that there's a lot of things that now that I'm getting context of how her mother is, I kind of agree with him a little bit more than I did in the beginning, that she needed to do this. And that's why I said I didn't necessarily agree with the mom. I think that this was definitely necessary. And I think he was just the push that she needed to do it, regardless of where her and that boyfriend end up. She did need to confront her mom and needed to hear that she was wanted.
She did. I think that was everything her mom said. At least most of what she said was about caring about her. She acknowledged her mistakes. She said she wished she could do it differently. That's all you can really ask for from a
Yeah.
parent. So Mehgan, she gets emotional. She walks out. It wasn't just a big blow up or her going off or anything. I think she just needed to take a break. But I am glad that she met with her mom, and I wish her and her mama the best. I really do. I hope that they're able to work it through. Moving on, we see Mackenzie have a birthday daughter, not a birthday daughter. She has a birthday party. I'm tired, y'all. She has a birthday party for her daughter, Chanel. Ashley brought a really thoughtful gift. She brought her Barbies of Chanel's dad's team, or the teams he's played for, something basketball related. It was super cool. Collector's Barbie. She's like, I collect them. I'm like, oh, all right. Okay, Ashley. Collecting dolls. You have no daughters, but all right. Moving on. I like when they're around their kids, this cast. I feel like their kids humanize them because they all have,
Yes.
younger kids. And it's like the one moment I'm like, oh, they're not bitches or catty. So Lindsay asked Danielle, asked about Danielle and Mulan at the party because she ain't really been around since the whole altercation where Danielle accidentally hit Mulan or intentionally. We don't know. And they asked about this away from children in the adult section of the party. And Mackenzie is weird. Like the way that this chick moves, she's starting to show herself. She's starting to get comfortable on this camera. And we see you, Mackenzie. You are nothing to like, in my opinion. Why are y'all talking about her at my daughter's birthday party? Your daughter is nowhere near here. She can't hear you. It's loud as hell in this party. And keeping it 100, the little girl ain't gonna remember that fucking party 5 years from now.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
and anybody who questions me, I literally went to school on the study of the brain. So we study memory a lot. I'm telling you, more than likely this child will not remember this party. Or one for your 1-year-old. That's more so for the parents. Moving on. Nobody was even speaking about the issue rudely, but Mackenzie was mad that Danielle came up. And now I'm starting to see some of what Danielle said is true. I do think, just based on how Mackenzie became irrationally mad at that party, that she's probably on the internet like, where's she at? You won't get them, that bitch. I'm telling you, Mackenzie is creeping and lurking the internet at night, watching stuff. So we are at the last scene of the recap. Mehgan, Morgan, and Danielle all meet up. And the protect Black woman purse was funny as hell. I didn't even notice it until Mehgan brought it up. I thought that was petty as hell. But Danielle mentions that Mackenzie walked in and like she had on her outfit, but I didn't realize in that outfit that it was like over 100 degrees and humid that day. So I'm like, why was that girl in like a long sleeve sleeve dress is thigh high? So I will give Danielle that. Like if Danielle could control her temper, she could be like funny and messy for TV, but instead she chooses to go with this anger and baby mama hatred. Anywho, so Danielle explains the meeting that she had with Mulan first because everybody's getting caught up, and she pretty much with Mulan, she did have a point. She made the point with Mulan where it's like, you're getting mad at me for this. I tried to apologize, but I do call bullshit. I do think that Danielle only apologized after someone told her Mulan was upset, and that's not okay because you should be a friend to someone who was your friend. But she makes a point. Nobody put Mulan in the middle of it. And I agree. I've said it on the previous recap. James has said it. Mulan chose to insert herself into something through an entire event dedicated to discussing drama that people have not been able to get over for weeks. You have to expect that if you're going to be the middleman, just like in boxing, the referee sometimes might get a little hit. It might happen. So I just feel like it wasn't okay for that to happen. And she didn't continue hitting her. It looked like it was, but at the same time, if you didn't insert yourself into other people's problems, then you wouldn't have had that issue. I'm a firm believer in minding my Black-owned business. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Listen, but apparently these women don't. Do you have anything to comment on their little? Oh wait, I forgot to say, Morgan. I wasn't able to catch the screenshot because I was tired. But what the hell was going on in that confessional? Her makeup was like, it made her look pale.
I missed that scene.
It was terrible. But Morgan was there. I'm starting to see that I think Morgan is the problem of this group.
Absolutely, she is. Absolutely, she is. No. We're not going. I like Morgan, but at the same time, she is definitely a problem.
She's cool by herself, but in groups together, she's messy and she don't know how to do it.
You can tell she wears that anger on her, and I want her to get some therapy and get it up out of her. But like I said, this ain't nothing but the Bad Girls Club all over again. So I'm
reboot, just the calmer version.
Yeah, just a reboot. Yeah, just everybody, got basketball, either ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, and one wife on there like they did the first time. That's all that's did. There's nothing more.
He said there's nothing more. And there is not anything more. That was the recap for season 1, episode 5 of Basketball Wives Orlando. After last week, I didn't know if I was going to keep recapping the show. I will keep going. That fight was too much, that stupid ass brawl, but you know, they're improving. So I'm just, you know, glad to be here. Next recap on the Mrs. Best Reviews channel will be on Saturday. We'll go over Love After Lockup. And then on Tuesday.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She already messing up.
Shit.
Already messing up. I gotta watch it. I gotta record it.
Child, okay. So I fucked up the church's pieces of change. The next recap on my channel will be tomorrow. Here, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We are going to recap that. James will be here with us. And then we'll have Love After Lockup on Saturday. Child, I'm mixing up the days. I thought today was Thursday, which makes no sense. Anywho, thank you for dealing with my neurotic ass. Thank you for being on my channel. Thank you for supporting myself and James. I hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. May you all enjoy your evening. Bye, James.